Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be all about your next long-term romantic partner. We are going to be getting all the details about them and your relationship with them. There are 4 groups for you guys to choose from today, and for each reading we're going to be using a different tarot deck. I have also placed different crystals on top to help you pick, and I'm going to be showing one card from each deck. It's going to be a different court card. So when you're choosing your group, you could be drawn to the crystal, this back artwork that you see here, the front artwork, or the specific card that comes up for you. So there's a few different factors to help you pick, but without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Group number 1, you have this Citrine and the 5-cent tarot. And your court card is the King of Pentacles. Group number 2, you have this clear quartz unicorn and the Gilded tarot. And your court card is the Knight of Wands. Group number 3, you have this Angelite heart and the Dog tarot. And your court card is the Queen of Swords. And group number 4s, you have, I think this is called Turritella Agate, and the Enchanted Forest tarot. And your court card is the Page of Cups. Okay, so just in case you need a bit more time to pick, these are all of your options laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one is calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Citrine and the 5-cent tarot, this is going to be your reading. So I have a little drawing. This is the spread that we're going to do today to find out about your next romantic partner and your relationship with them. I was sort of inspired by the angular houses of a birth chart. So over here on the left, we're going to pull 2 cards to represent your person's appearance and personality traits. And then at the top, we're going to have messages about their career, their aspirations, and their public image. At the bottom, we are going to see their background, their upbringing, and their family and home life. And then over here on the right, we are going to see your relationship with them and how they treat you and things like that. And then in the very middle, we're going to pull 2 cards. One will represent a side of your person that they show outwardly, and another one is going to represent a side that is more hidden internally. Yes. And then at the very end of the reading, this is just for extra confirmation. So these main messages will be the most important thing to determine if this reading resonates with you. But then just for a little bit of extra confirmation at the end, we are going to look at any astrological placements that are coming up, letters and initials of your person, as well as numbers, like numbers that might appear in their birthday, their life path, their age. So if these resonate with you or with someone whom you have in mind, then that could just be a little bit of extra something for you. So that is the reading that we have here on YouTube. And then we also have an extended reading today where we're going to see how you're going to meet this person, or if you feel strongly that this is someone you already know, we'll see how you're going to eventually end up getting together. We are going to see a highlight of your relationship with this person, or the multiple highlights of your relationship. We're going to see why your person will choose you, or what it is that they love about you. And then we're going to get 2 timing predictions. So I'm going to do one for the short-term future and one for the long-term future. And it will be up to you if you would like to claim one or the other or both, whatever makes sense for you or whatever you intuitively feel is right. So that's going to be the extended reading, and there is a special offer for today's extended. It is going to be available both on Patreon as well as Vimeo. So if you are already a Patreon member, which thank you so much if you are, you will already have access to this extended reading. It's going to be in a post made on May 9th, 2024. So be on the lookout for that. And if you are not a Patreon member yet and you are considering joining, not only would you get the full extended today, but you'll also have have access to over 90 full pick a card readings. The extended is also available on Vimeo if you did just want to get this one individual reading. On Vimeo, you do have the option of purchasing just one group of the extended or the whole thing. But if you do get the whole thing, it's the same price as joining Patreon. So if you wanted to check it out, it would be a good time to do that. We have a lovely community over there. But either way, I'm just so happy to have you here, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. And without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we're gonna get right into the deck that you guys chose. And I'm just gonna go ahead and lay out the whole spread. So we are tapping into the energy of group number one's next long-term romantic partner. Starting with any hints about their appearance, their physical appearance, and their personality traits. We have the Hierophant and the Six of Needles, which is the Six of Swords. Any information about this person's career. We have the Five of Buttons, which is the Five of Pentacles. Their career, their aspirations, their public image. And we have the Ace of Matches, which is the Ace of Wands. Any information about this person's background, upbringing, family and home life. We have the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups. And any information about their relationship with group number one and how they treat group number one. Eight of Pentacles. And then we have two coming out at the same time. We have the Hermit and we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, and then we're also going to pull our two cards in the middle. Aside to this person that they show outwardly. Aside to this person that they show outwardly. The Four of Wands, and aside to them that they don't show, aside to them that is more hidden or private. The Six of Coins. Okay. So I'm going to start over here with their physical traits and personality traits. The first thing that is coming through is that this is someone who is the word polite is coming to my mind. It's almost as if they carry themselves very well in public, like they're polite, they're respectful, they're graceful, they articulate themselves very well. A specific message that is coming through is that this person doesn't use a lot of filler words, like they just kind of speak with confidence. This may be someone who, I think they listen a lot. They may listen more than they speak. And I'm hearing that they will only speak up about something if they really know what they're talking about. They're not really the type of person to form these half-baked opinions. If they're going to talk about something, they really want to research it and they really want to know what they're talking about. And I think that this carries over to their pursuit of learning skills and their career. When they're working on something, working on a project, working on a skill, working in a team, whatever it is, I feel like they take that very seriously. And whatever they're getting involved in, they do a very thorough job. And I just see them studying a lot. They could enjoy studying, they could enjoy reading or doing research. When they're interested in something, they want to know everything about it. And that might be for people as well. So when they're interested in you, they might want to learn everything about you as well. This could be someone who's interested in history and especially interested in looking at how things evolve over time, whether that's technologies or whether that's public sentiments, cultures, civilizations. They like to look how things have changed over time and kind of keep this in mind. They like to keep in mind the context of, you know, the time that someone is from or the background that someone is from, and they like to really get a full picture on it. I feel like this person has a lot of wisdom. They're very smart and they're very wise, but they don't have like a better than you mentality, or, you know, they have these very well-informed opinions, but they're not necessarily like pushing it on other people. They're not like, listen to me because I know best. But a lot of the time they do know very well. This is also likely someone who, I'm hearing they have respect for elders, so they could just have respect for older people in general, or their parents, or have respect for their ancestors. I do think this is someone who has a close connection to their heritage and their cultural background. So even if they, for example, even if they were the first generation born in a different country, I feel like they would learn the language of their family and of like the country that their family came from and try to stay connected to their roots. I think that's important for them. I feel like there's a lot of things this person would say, we had it right in the past. They don't necessarily believe that advancing to the future, something being more futuristic and more modern is necessarily better. I think they do a good job of embracing change and embracing innovation and new things while also not forgetting the good things of the past. And they might, in their work, they might do something that kind of fuses tradition with innovation. Because we have, the Hierophant really adheres to tradition and they're very much on the beaten path, whereas this is Aquarius energy, the Six of Swords, which Aquarius is very like groundbreaking innovation. So I feel like in some way they do balance that. Like they take the good parts of tradition and the good parts of modernity, if that's a word, modernness, and they make something really good out of it. This is someone who, they're very good at putting people at ease. This, like, I don't know what the opposite of intimidating is. I guess just very welcoming, very warm, very accepting. I think all kinds of people can feel at ease around this person. A specific message that's coming through is that this person is very smart. There could be some area in particular that they have a lot of knowledge about, but they're so good at making it accessible to other people and like not making you feel dumb about it. I don't know if you've ever had this moment where you're asking someone a question and you may say something like, okay, this is probably a dumb question, and then the person's like, oh no, that's not a dumb question at all. And it makes you feel so good. I feel like that's their energy, they're just never, I don't know if this person has ever been condescending or like thought they're better than anyone. I just feel like they're so welcoming, and with all of the knowledge that they have, they kind of feel like a responsibility, or some kind of responsibility to make that knowledge accessible to others in like a kind and compassionate way. This is definitely a very considerate person. Yeah, this is beautiful energy. So let's go up here to their career, their aspirations, their public image. We have the Five of Pentacles. So the very first thing that came to my mind when I saw this is that this person is not motivated by money when it comes to their career path, maybe even to their detriment sometimes. It's like they cannot bring themselves to be motivated by material success or wealth. I think as long as this person has what they need to survive, then they're fine. I think especially with this Ace of Wands here, they just cannot bring themselves to do something that is soul-sucking or that they're not passionate about. So they would rather they would rather live a very modest lifestyle doing something that they love than live a wealthy lifestyle doing something that they're not passionate about. So like money and materialism is not a priority for this person. I also wonder if maybe they do share a lot of their money and resources with people in need, because it just feels like they don't get attached to money. They don't get attached to things like that. They might not even have that many material possessions. They might not have a ton of clothes. They might not have, and it's not that they don't like it. I'm sure if they were in a nice, cushy environment, they would enjoy it, but it's just not of a big enough motivator to sacrifice passion. So they would be like a struggling artist or a struggling creative, and I feel like they're very committed to what they're passionate about. So even if it's not making a ton of money, they're like, I don't care because I love what I'm doing. And that is actually that's the biggest wealth. If you can wake up every day and say that you love what you're doing and that you're inspired by what you're doing and that you're learning every day and you're impacting people positively, like that to them, I think is the greatest form of wealth. With this Ace of Wands, this could be an indication that they do something creative. So they could be an artist, or that creative energy could be talking about how they find unique ways to fuse tradition and modern concepts. They could be a teacher of some kind, because there was that message about them sharing knowledge and making knowledge accessible to other people and being very welcoming. Like, I think this is someone who's really good with people, and they're very good at seeing people's unique gifts and inspiring people to utilize their unique gifts. They're definitely doing something for a career that they're passionate about. You would pretty much never hear this person complaining about their job or about money. Every job has its stresses, but I think that this person overwhelmingly loves what they do, and they feel it's a really amazing privilege that they're able to do what they do, and they would have nothing but great things to say about the work that they do. That's what is coming through. There could be something about homes. I'm just looking at this birdhouse, like homes or real estate, something like that. And then what do we have on here? This kind of reminds me of a telescope. I don't know if that is what it is, and then there's like a gear. It could be something with like engineering as well. They could be like a researcher. Yeah, maybe they're like a researcher and they don't get paid a lot for it, but they love the work that they're doing. It's really fascinating to them, and they know that it's going to help a lot of people, so they don't even care. Like, yeah, I'm a broken record, but they are just not motivated by money. Or just superficial or material things in general. This is someone who's all about the soul, all about the personality. Even if they're not spiritual, there is a message coming through of like they see divinity in everyone, or they see like the worthiness to be loved in everyone, and they see the preciousness in every life. Down here, for their upbringing, their background, their home and family life, we have the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So this lets me know this person likely had a very happy childhood, especially emotionally. It is possible that they didn't have a lot materially growing up, but it's like they were in such a loving environment. And so again, they would only look back with fond things about where they come from. I'm thinking of, in the Six of Cups cards, there's two children, and like one of them is giving flowers to the other. So it could be that they have a sibling whom they're very close with, but it's coming through that they definitely got that chance to just be a child and be carefree and play, and that's times of their life that they look back on quite fondly. And I do think that this person has a wonderful connection to their inner child and to their past as well. Like, there is a message coming through of this person has a strong connection to their their relatives who came before them, their ancestors, their heritage. So maybe for some of you, maybe they even grew up with their grandparents, like a grandparent lived with them, or they may have even got to live with their great grandparents for some time. It feels like they know pretty well about their family's history and their family's traditions, and they want to keep those beautiful traditions going while also healing cycles in the lineage that are not working. Like, yeah, they just have that lovely balance of keeping the past precious and also embracing the future. And I've probably said that many times, but it's something that comes out for them quite a bit. We have the Ace of Cups here, so they definitely received a lot of affection in their childhood, and they probably would want to have children of their own, or I just see that they would be like a very affectionate and loving parent. And at the very least, I do think they have like a fondness for children and feel very affectionate towards them. And this is also making me think that they were creative. Like, we literally have the word creativity here. So this person was probably very creative as a child, and I do think that that was supported. And they've probably continued on in their adult life to pursue those things that they were passionate about. I also think it's pretty likely with these cards that this person was a psychic child. I don't know if they are still connected to or utilizing their psychic abilities, but that is very likely that they were a very psychic child and also very empathic. So they were probably very deeply moved. They probably even had kind of humanitarian, how would you say that? Humanitarian longings or humanitarian tendencies from a very young age. Like, maybe they would receive a little bit of allowance and feel like they want to donate it to the community, or they want to do something good with those resources. I just feel like they were always very empathetic, compassionate, wanting to help others. That's something that was just always innate in them, and they seem to have always been just very like peaceful and sweet. Like, that is their vibe. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so now we're moving on to see about their relationship to you and how they treat you. And I'm very happy to see the Eight of Pentacles here, because this is someone who recognizes that relationships do take work, and that it's a commitment, and that you have to choose it every day, and you have to show up and work through your differences. Like, this is not someone who just expects everything to be easy and who is going to run away when there's little challenges. This is really someone who is here for the long run, and who is going to show you, I think from the start, judging from what we saw about their personality, they're going to show you from the start that like they're serious about you. They're going to make efforts. I'm hearing they're going to go out of their way. So you will find them doing things like moving their schedule around so that they can make time for you, or going out of their way to go pick you up somewhere, or to pick up something for you. They could be a very acts of service. I feel like they're an acts of service kind of person and a quality time kind of person. And their motivation for that is to make you comfortable. They want to do these acts of service for you so that you are more comfortable, so that you feel cared for, so that you feel safe. And they also recognize, this is definitely someone who recognizes that healing takes time. And so I think they're going to be incredibly patient with you. Also, communication is very important to this person. And so they're very thorough with their communication. When they communicate something to you that's important, they're going to make sure that they leave no room for misinterpretations, no room for guessing, that you're exactly on the same page. They're not going to leave anything up to just assuming that you understand the other person. So yeah, they communicate very, very clearly. And we also have the Hermit and the Queen of Cups, which is awesome, because this totally looks like, oh, we have, empathy. This is an extremely 22 as I'm saying that. So your partner is an extremely empathetic person. You are an extremely empathetic person. So yeah, the two of you will have a lot of empathy for each other's emotions, for each other's struggles. And both of these cards have a feeling of a spiritual journey, especially like an inward journey. So I think both of you are big supporters of each other's self-discovery journey, of each other's self-love journey, of each other's spiritual journey. This actually does give me the feeling that your person is spiritual, or that they are open to learning about spirituality and connecting to their higher self. I would say that, you know, this is someone who is great with people, but I do think that they're an introvert, just in that they may need a lot of time to like recharge. Their social battery might need a little bit of extra care. So there may be some times throughout the relationship where they just feel like they need some time alone, or that they just want to spend time with you and not do anything. It feels like they need quite a bit of downtime, just because they want to be doing their own thing and be in their own company. But I actually really like that. I definitely feel like this is someone who's not afraid to be alone. Like, they're not scared to be alone with their own thoughts, or they're not scared to face themselves. I think this is someone who actually very much loves their own company and would be very understanding at any time if you need time for yourself, or if you, for example, if you had plans to go out, to go to some event and you're like, I'm not feeling it, I just need to relax today, they would be like so understanding of that, because they're like that too. They're like, oh, that's fine, I didn't really want to go anyway. Do you want to just stay home? Like, I feel like they can be that kind of more low-key and cozy vibe, and they may prefer that. This is also likely someone who would like to have animals in the home, especially small animals is coming through for some reason. And it could be something as small as like a little fish, or a parakeet or something. We have fish here. That looks like a fish. This is a bird. So they might have like fish or birds, or like a hamster. There's a little crab. Like, some people have pet hermit crabs, a turtle, you know, something small like that. I guess it could also be like small dogs and cats, and I think that they might have a lot of hobbies that they can do at home, like things that they like to do around the house. They could be like a crafty person. They could like to play an instrument, like cooking or baking, something. It feels like they have some kind of hobby that is domestic. They could also really enjoy sorting things and organizing things. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they like color coding things, or like sorting the sock drawer in a particular way. That might be something that's enjoyable for them. They seem to enjoy repetitive tasks. It just puts them in like a lull. Yeah. They could also enjoy doing puzzles, you know, something kind of quiet, like quiet time. That's kind of what their hobbies and activities seem like. So finally, we have these cards in the middle to represent a side of them that they do show versus a side of them that they don't show. And we have the Four of Wands. So definitely what they express outwardly is like they have a very cheerful personality, and they're nice to everyone. That's what they do show outwardly. They're nice to everyone. They want everyone to be happy. They want everyone to feel like they belong and to feel included, and they will go out of their way to do that. I feel like this Six of Pentacles being the part that they don't show. There might be a part of them that, okay, there's a few things coming through. There might be a part of them that derives some self-worth from their ability to help others. That they don't really show, because they're just doing it all with like a happy face and like, oh no, it's nothing. But on the inside, they might be feeling like this is a validating experience for them, and that they need to help people and they need to be useful to people. There may be a part of them that deep down wishes this energy were reciprocated. Like, they're so generous, and on the outside they're like, no, really, it's fine. Like, you don't have to pay me back, or you don't have to do anything in return. And like, because they don't want people to feel obligated, like they have to return something. But there may be a little part of them that deep down is like, I wish sometimes this generous energy was reciprocated towards me more. Yeah. And then another thing is that while they may be friendly and nice to everyone, I think they can tell pretty quickly who they would get along with on an intimate level versus who they wouldn't. And so if this person is sticking around and they're making multiple efforts to see you, that is a very clear sign they've already picked up that you're a keeper and that they would get along with you in like a closer relationship for the long term. Wow, okay. So for the last part of this reading, so remember, what really matters is like these main messages. If this resonates with like someone you know or someone that it sounds like you would like to be in a relationship with them, that's the most important thing. So this last part of the reading, you can honestly think of it as just for fun, or like it's just for extra confirmation. So we're going to be talking about astrological placements, letters, numbers that could be relevant to you or to your person. So if these apply to you, then that could be just extra confirmation. There's no way that all of these will resonate for any one person. Like when we talk about the astrological placements, no one person could have all of them. So they don't all have to apply to resonate with you. So let's see. I see a Taurus rising, Mercury in the first house, Sun in the fourth house, Leo rising, Pisces rising, Sun in the seventh house, Sun in the eighth house, Sun in the ninth house. We also have Mercury in the 10th house, Leo rising again, that is coming through again, Mercury in the 11th house, Venus in Aries, and Moon in Taurus. And that is what we have for astrological placements. So now we're going to roll some dice. What numbers could be relevant to this person? So this could be numbers in their birthday, their life path number. It could be their age or their age gap with you. So we have the number 1, the number 4, and the number 12. So the numbers 1, 4, or 12 could be relevant numbers to you or to this person. And then what about letters? Letters in this person's name or this person's initials. We have 1 again, 9, and 12 again. So we have the letter A, the letter I, the letter L, the letter J, the letter M, the letter U, and V. Okay, I think, is that everything? Yes, so those are all the messages for my group number 1. So we're going to take it over to the extended now, where we see how you will meet, or if you're listening to this and you're like, Kino, I already know this person, then we're going to see how you will end up getting together. We are going to see main highlight or highlights of your relationship, why this person will choose you, so what they love about you, and we're also going to get a timing prediction for your short-term future and your long-term future. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, you can find the links down below. Remember, the special offer for today's reading is that you can access the full extended reading on Patreon, as well as over 90 other exclusive readings. You can also get this individual reading on Vimeo. So I will have both of the links down below. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. I'm sending lots of love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the clear quartz unicorn and the Gilded Tarot. This is going to be your reading. So this is the spread that we're going to be doing today. I was sort of inspired by the angular houses of a birth chart. So we're going to have a couple of cards here on the left to represent your next partner's appearance and personality. Then at the top, we're going to have some cards to represent their career, their aspirations, their public image, and things like that. Some cards at the bottom to represent their background, their upbringing, their family and home life. And then on the right, we're going to have some cards to represent their relationship with you and how they treat you and all of that kind of thing. And then there's also going to be two cards in the middle. One of them will represent a side of your person that they show outwardly, and the other will represent a side that is more internal and more hidden. And then at the end of this reading, this is just for extra confirmation. So this main part is going to be what's most important for determining whether this reading resonates with you. But at the end, just for a little bit of extra confirmation, we're also going to look at any astrological placements that are popping up, letters or your person's initials, as well as numbers that could be in their birthday, their life path number, their age, and things like that. So that is the reading for today. And then we also are going to have an extended reading where we see how you're going to meet this person, or if you feel like you've already met them, then we'll see how you'll end up getting together. We are going to see a main highlight or multiple highlights of your relationship. We're going to see why they choose you, so what it is that they love most about you. And we're also going to get two timing predictions. So one is going to be for the short-term future and one is going to be for the long-term future, and it will be up to you whether you want to claim one or the other or both, depending on what makes the most sense for you and just what feels right intuitively. And there is a special offer for today's extended reading. So as always, you'll be able to access it on Vimeo, but it's also going to be available on Patreon. So if you're already a Patreon member, thank you very much, by the way, if you are, then you will already have access to this reading. Just look out for the post that was made on May 9th, 2024, so that you can watch it. If you are not a Patreon member yet and you are considering joining, not only will you have access to today's full extended reading, but you will also have access to over 90 other full exclusive tarot readings. And it will be the same price to join Patreon as it is to get today's full extended on Vimeo. So it is a good time to consider joining if you were thinking about it. We have an amazing community over there. But either way, I'm just so grateful for you being here and watching this today. So thank you so much for being here. And now, without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we're going to get right into the deck that you guys chose. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay out the full spread. So we are channeling the energy of your next romantic partner, starting with any information about their personality or physical traits. We have the Magician and the Queen of Swords. Any information about their career, their aspirations, or their public image. We have the Five of Wands and the Three of Wands. Any information about their background, their upbringing, their home and family life. The Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. And any information about their relationship to you and how they treat you. We have the Nine of Swords. And then two coming out together, so we'll take both of them. We have the, oh my gosh, that's so sweet, the Empress and the King of Pentacles. Okay, and then I'm going to also get two cards to put in the middle. We are going to see a side of your person that they show outwardly, the Sun, And a side of your person that they keep more hidden. And there's two coming out at the same time again. So the side of your person that is more hidden is the Fool and the Four of Cups. Okay, so we're going to start over here with the Magician and the Queen of Swords. One thing that is coming through is that this person could be older than you. In fact, for some of you, they could be significantly older, but you would never guess. I think they could either look very youthful or have a very youthful personality to them. And it's sort of giving the feeling that when a lot of people hear how old this person is, they're like shocked. It's like they just don't look like it, or they have a youthful energy about them, or they keep up a lot with like modern trends. And so people might significantly like underestimate this person's age. That is something that is coming through. Also, this person likely is on the taller side. They likely have long hair, which obviously is subjective. Like one person's idea of long hair could be different from another person. But when I look at both of these cards, both of these people have long hair. So I do feel like that could be significant. And there's something strong or athletic about this person. They also have a very clear voice. They could have a very unique voice. Like, I don't know what that means, but you could definitely pick it out from a crowd. And this may be a strange message, but there's something about their hands that is significant. So they could have nice hands, they could have big hands, they could have tattoos on their hands, or there's like rings that they wear all the time, something that draws attention to their hands. They could also do something with their hands, like play, I'm thinking of piano, like playing piano, or obviously there's so many things that you do with their hands, with your hands. But anyway, maybe they make pick a card readings and like their hands are on display. I'm just kidding, but maybe, I don't know. This person definitely comes across as like confident and self-assured. I don't think you could make this person doubt themselves. I don't think you could make them feel bad about themselves. I think that they're tough. It's funny because I feel like they're tough with themselves. Like they might have a strong inner critic, but at the same time, they don't take shit from other people. So they're allowed to make self-deprecating jokes, but if you say something bad about them, they're going to stand up for themselves. And I kind of like that about them. I think that they have a good self-esteem that they have worked on, and I think they're very sure of themselves. This seems to be someone who, like, this is Mercury energy and this is air energy, so they definitely are very clever. They have a very quick wit. I feel like most of the time they might come across as a more serious type of person, but when it is time to be funny, they can crack some great jokes. And I'm hearing that because they're in a serious mood most of the time, it makes it even funnier when they do say something silly or when they do make a joke, because it's almost kind of out of character and then people are taken aback, and then that just adds to the humor of it. They may be someone who they really only tap into their silly side if they're super comfortable with you. So most people who meet this person, their first impression would probably be like they're serious. Some people might even say they're intimidating. But for someone like you who gets very close to them, you know that they have quite a funny bone and that they can say some very silly shit. They just have to be really comfortable and have their guard down and feel like they can trust you. This person is an excellent problem solver. I just feel like their mind moves really quickly, and they do have a knack for analyzing the situation and finding solutions. They're not the type of person to get bogged down in problems or get bogged down in what is going wrong. They want to keep like moving forward and finding the solution. They don't seem like the type of person to dwell in their sorrows. And they find their solutions through thinking things through or through taking actions. Just sitting and being with their feelings, I don't think it's something they can't do. It might just be something that doesn't come naturally to them and something that they might learn how to do in the future. But I think their style is more like the analyzing, problem solving, finding the solution and doing it. And that might actually be something that helps them excel in their job, is what's coming through. They're also very good at not taking things personally. So, you know, if they received some data about their performance and it's bad, they're not going to start beating themselves up and being like, what's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. They just like take it at face value and they're like, okay, I did this wrong and I'm going to do this to fix it. Like they don't take that kind of thing personally and they want the information. And in the same way, in your relationship, I feel like you don't have to worry a lot about, like, if something they do is annoying you or upsetting you or you want them to stop something, you can just tell them straight up and they won't be offended. Like, this person doesn't really get offended or take things personally. They're just like, okay, thank you for telling me. I appreciate having that data. And in the same way, just telling them about how you feel, I feel like they don't really judge it in any way. Like, why do you feel like that? You shouldn't feel like that. They're just like, oh, okay. Like, they just want to know. This is someone who appreciates the data, and so that they know what you need and they know how they can help you. And I feel like they just have this ability to help others in a very efficient way and help people see solutions that they didn't realize before. They could live kind of a fast-paced life, or they just move very quickly. They could be one of those people who walks very fast, or you might see them typing away at their computer and they're typing like 8 million words a second. Like, or there's just something that they do very quickly. I also feel like from the time that you meet, I want to say from the time that you meet to the time that they ask you out, so maybe that's a sign that they're going to be the one to initiate. That's probably going to be pretty fast too. They're definitely someone who prioritizes the intellectual connection with someone. Like, are our conversations interesting? Does our humor vibe with each other? Do we get each other's references? Are we stimulating each other? Like, that mental connection seems to be one of the most important things for them. And I feel like they're just good at a lot of things. They can just walk in and try something for the first time and be really good at it. And then people around are like, come on, are you kidding? Like, you didn't even try. It's just, they're quick, they're smart, they're breezy, they have this kind of effortless vibe about them, which is very nice. And they don't sweat it. They don't sweat the small things. I feel like this is not a worrier. They're just chilling and then they're just chilling and taking one day at a time. That is their vibe. So moving up to the cards representing their career, their aspirations, their public image, we have the 5 of Wands. So when I saw this, I definitely thought that they are in a highly competitive industry. So they could be in an industry that is kind of saturated, that you have to really fight to stand out. Competition could literally be in their job description. Like, what I'm thinking, for example, is if you're an athlete, if you play competitive sports, then competition is like a part of your job, or they have rival companies and they're like fighting for business. So it seems competitive. It seems fast paced. It seems like an industry where you would need tough skin, which is good for them because, another thing that's coming through is that they don't really take their stresses from work home. They're like, when they're at work and they're worried about work stuff. And then when they come home, they're like out of work mode. So that's a good thing. I feel like this person has good boundaries like that. And then also like not taking their personal issues to work. It feels like they're very good at keeping things neatly in their place. And I also like to hear that because it means that they don't have like sometimes you can kind of have an unhealthy attachment to your work and feel like your success at work determines your worth as a person, and they just don't have that. They're like, what happens at work stays at work, and when I'm clocked out, that's none of my business. And that doesn't mean that they're not like driven, but they keep a very balanced life like that. And I feel like they don't have a whole lot of ego when it comes to what they do for work. Even if it is kind of high status or a lot of people are impressed by it, for them, it's like, yeah, it's a job. I like it. It's cool. Anyway, they might not really talk about, I think they're really passionate about their job, but they don't talk about it a lot unless somebody asks them. That's something that's coming through. And they're kind of like low key about it. Maybe there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know about in their work, and they just stay kind of low key about it. They're definitely very ambitious, and I do think they like the competition, but they especially like to compete with their past self and like continue to get better and better, because we have this Three of Wands here, which is about growth and expansion. So I'm taking this as they like to challenge themselves. They like to kind of be in competition with themselves to see if they can improve. I also feel like you have to be an extrovert, or you have to be good with people, or you have to have some kind of charisma to do well in their career. So it could have something to do with sales, because, you know, if you're a salesperson, you have to make people like you, or you have to like charm them, or you have to have a good personality. You have to have a good personality or a good persona to make it in their industry. So there could be quite a bit of like interpersonal interactions, like face-to-face communication. It doesn't seem like they're hiding behind a screen. They have to like show up and interact in person and like leave a good impression on people. So I think this is someone who can make a very good first impression, and they're very good conversationalists, you know, personable. They keep the conversation going. They could be very good at sales or very good at business because of this charisma that they have. They could also have a job that requires them to travel sometimes. So they could go on frequent business trips, or they have to go and meet clients wherever they are. Or there could be some kind of touring involved or something, just looking at this image. So yeah, it's definitely competitive, and you need to be very like driven and ambitious to be successful there. Then at the bottom, we have their upbringing, their background, their home and family life, and things like that. This to me kind of seems like they had an unstable upbringing. And the first thing that came to my mind is that they maybe grew up in two different places. So like, to use myself as an example, growing up, I would go back and forth between my mom's house and my dad's house. And now I go back and forth between Japan and Canada. So they could have like grown up in different households, or like moved, maybe they moved a lot of times as a child, or there was like two countries that they went back and forth in between. Or I'm also thinking of some of my friends who would, like, they would be in Canada for the school year, and then in summer vacation, they would like go away with their family, like to go see their family every year. And so there's always this feeling of like back and forth. This might be someone who they have two families, or they have two homes or something like that. That's the feeling that this is giving me. They could have also been, because I feel like they're so smart. I feel like they were a very curious child, and they were like good at everything. And there's some message about them having done a lot of extracurricular things, or having a lot of hobbies when they were growing up. And I can't really tell if it's because they wanted to do all of those things, or if it was parents or teachers or some other adults being like, you have potential, let's put you in this, and let's put you in this, and let's put you in this. And it might have actually been overwhelming for them. I wonder if even that could have caused moving around a lot for them. I just imagined like a kid who has this other thing going well for them, and they're always being pulled out of school to like, I don't know, go to this championship or go to this audition, or there's something unstable like that where they were involved in multiple things, and so they had to move around quite a bit. And I don't know, maybe they have mixed feelings about that, because it was probably a very interesting experience, but it probably didn't provide a lot of like grounding and stability. But maybe that's also what contributed to them being able to be like friendly and personable because they're always in a different environment and they have to get close to people quickly because they might be leaving soon. Like there might be something like that going on with them. I also think that maybe their speed comes from that. Like, we don't have time to process this right now because we have to move. So I do feel like sometimes just being still is not prioritized, and just like sitting with their feelings is not really prioritized. Not because it was shamed in any way, but simply because there was not time, or like there were just other transitions that we were going through in life and had to focus on that. And it's like, okay, I guess we're going to process this grief later. And, you know, like I got to move. There's something like that about kind of always being on the go or always being busy. And there's not a lot of time for just being with your feelings. There's not a lot of time for dreaming, like for daydreaming or just like playing around. I feel like they need more time to be playful. And that actually might be something that really draws them to a partner, is if they can just, if they can relax and let their guard down and let that funny side of them come out. For some reason, martial arts just came to my mind. I guess like this person has a sword. These people, I don't know, they could be doing martial arts. But anyway, I think there's a part of them that wants to just relax and be playful and let their sense of humor come out. I wonder if they had kind of serious parents. I think a lot was expected from them because they were really capable and smart and talented from a young age. And then adults were like, how can we use this potential? And it's like, I just want to make my doodles and play with my Play-Doh, bro. Like, because I'm really talented and capable doesn't mean I have to do all this stuff. Damn. So yeah, I feel like there's maybe some pressure that was put on this person as well. And I feel that they have an urge to just like be soft and let loose. That's the feeling that I have. I think they're probably craving that deep down. So then we get into their relationship with you and how they treat you and things like that. So with the Empress here, this person definitely has a nurturing side. There is kind of a sense, there's a whole emotional wealth to this person that I feel like at the time of you meeting them, at least, they haven't really tapped into yet, because what I'm seeing is that they are very nurturing, they are a provider, but they kind of show love through like fixing the situation or making the situation easier or like helping you through it. They need like concrete things to do. They need a solution to find. So I think when it comes to just holding the feelings and being still with them and just providing comfort in those moments, that might not be something that comes super naturally to them, at least at first. They're like, when it comes to, okay, I want to like move forward now, I want to find a solution to this problem now, or I need help, I need this and this and this, then they'll show up and provide for you. But yeah, being still with the emotions is something I think they will learn to do after meeting you. It's something that they've wanted to learn how to do and just needed to have the time and space to do that. But their desire to care for and protect and provide for someone they love is really, really, really strong with the Empress and the King of Pentacles here. And this is definitely someone who shows their love through actions. So, you know, showing up and helping in any concrete way that they can, making sure that time is set aside for you, making sure you feel like a priority, making sure their resources are shared with you. Actually, I can't believe it's taken me this long to realize this person probably has a lot of money with, like, because Empress is prosperity, King of Pentacles too. This person probably has a lot of money, and so they would definitely be happy to share their wealth with you and like spoil you materially if that is something that you want. when that is not what you need, I feel like, yeah, they gotta tap into like how to just be present with someone emotionally, because sometimes you don't need the solution, or sometimes you don't need tangible things to fix it. Sometimes you just need a hug, and sometimes you just need to cry, and sometimes you just need to sit there. And I wonder if in the past this person has been in relationships with people who were more attracted to their material wealth, and they're just kind of used to that. Okay, this is like a really silly example, but what just came to my mind is like, let's say they dated someone in the past, and then when their previous partner got mad, it's like, if you buy me a purse, then I'll forgive you. Like, such a silly example, but something like that, where they're used to just like, oh, I'll do this for you and then that will fix things. And then when they're with you and you're upset, and then they buy you a purse and you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's not what I want right now. I just want you to understand me. And they're like, what? Because I think they're used to, for some of you, this person is used to having people around them that just want material things from them, or just want their material wealth from them. And they're getting used to, oh, that's kind of making me sad. Like, getting used to being wanted and appreciated for just their presence, for just quality time, just for their heart. Damn. So, like, I feel like you are teaching them how to be there for you in a meaningful way, but you're also teaching them that this is not their real value. This material stuff, or like tangible stuff, is not their real value. And that's why I think they're gonna so welcomely, is that even a word? Welcomely embrace that. They're gonna embrace that in a welcoming way, because they don't necessarily want this to be the case. I think they want to just feel like enough and not have to fix everything, and just be present in however you feel. So that will definitely be very enlightening and very healing for them. And I think you are creating a dynamic where just by being with each other, you can really soothe each other's worries and anxieties. And I think self-worth would probably be a big theme of your relationship, like helping each other realize that you are perfect the way you are worthy the way you are, that it doesn't matter how much money you have or how much success you have, or it doesn't matter what you can do for me, because the best thing you can do for me is just be with me and hear me and see me. Like, that is the most precious gift that you can give. And I think your relationship grounds each other and helps each other to be still and helps each other to be present. This person is definitely going to slow down and chill out a lot after they meet you, because I feel like they're in like a very highly strung energy at first, and you're helping them learn that it's okay to relax, and that like that doesn't mean that they're gonna lose progress or something. It's funny because like I feel like a lot of this person's own hang-ups are kind of hidden from them at first. Because at first they were so coming through as like, oh, I'm fine, like no stress at all, I don't care, I'm super okay all the time. And then when we get deeper into the reading, it's like, wait a minute, you have some baggage that you're working through too. It's like they might not even realize that it's there, because they do such a good job of like compartmentalizing it. And that's that Mercury energy. Like if you have Gemini or Virgo placements, you're probably a pro at doing this. Just kind of rationalizing things away and being like, oh yeah, it's fine. And I feel like you're not going to allow them to do that. And they're going to really get in touch with their emotional side after meeting you, which is going to be super welcome for them. And now this makes a lot of sense too, because the part of them that they do show is the sun, which I think is like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm good. I'm in a good mood. I'm always in a good mood. But I think deep down with the Fool and the Four of Cups, there is this feeling of not being good enough or not having enough. And that probably comes from pressure that has been placed on them for a long time. But it's, and the Four of Cups is like something that you're not seeing. So I feel like they're not really moving through life with this consciousness that they're suppressing something. I think they genuinely don't realize that it's there. And then this eye in the sky is like illuminating it. It's helping them see it. It's so giving the vibe of them having like a big emotional awakening coming into this relationship with you. Wow. Okay, so for this last part of the reading, like I mentioned in the intro, this main part that we've just done is what is most important for determining if this reading resonates with you. Now we're going to get into like astrological placements, letters, numbers that could be significant to you or to this person, but these are not so important. They're just for extra confirmation. And there's also, like when we go through the astrological placements, there's no way that one person could have all of these. So they don't all need to apply, but we're gonna go through and see what we see. So the first thing, like we talked about Gemini and Virgo, this person could have a Gemini rising or a Virgo rising, or they could have Mercury in the first house. They could be a Libra rising as well. They could have Jupiter in the fourth house. They could have Venus in the fourth house. They could be a Leo rising as well. They could be a Sag rising. They could have Mars in the seventh house or Venus in the seventh house. We have Saturn in the 10th house. Sun in the 10th house. Mars in the 10th house. Did I already say Cancer rising? I think I did, but I feel like that's coming up again. And Scorpio rising. We also have a moon in Cancer here. Moon in Aquarius, moon in Leo. Yes, I think that's everything. So now we're going to roll some dice for numbers that could be relevant. So we have 2, 3, and 5. So these could be numbers that appear in your person's birthday or even birth time, if they or you happen to know that. These could be their life path numbers, life path 2, 3, or 5. And these could also be numbers that are in their age or your age gap. Could be like 2, 3, or 5 years. And then I don't have letters, so I'm just going to roll these number dice again. We have 1, 11, and 7. So for letters that could be in this person's name or like their initials, we have the letter A, the letter G, the letter K, the letter H, the letter L. Yes. So those are all of the messages for this part of the reading. We're going to go into the extended now, where we see how you're going to meet this person, or if you really feel like you already know this person, then we will see how you end up getting together. We're going to see a highlight or multiple highlights of your relationship. We're going to see why they choose you or what they love most about you. And then we're going to get one timing prediction for your short-term future and one for your long-term future. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have those links down below. And remember that today you can get the extended, this individual reading on Vimeo, or you can get the whole reading plus 90 other exclusive pick a card readings on Patreon. The full extended, it's the same price on either platform, but this would be an opportunity to check out some extra readings and join the community if you felt called to do that. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your person, your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the Angelite and the Dog Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about your next relationship. So we're going to be doing this spread today. I was sort of inspired by the angular houses of a birth chart. We are going to have a couple cards on the left to represent your person's appearance and personality traits, anything that comes up about that. We're going to have some cards on the top to represent their career, their aspirations, their public image, and things like that. On the bottom to represent their background, their upbringing, their family and home life, things like that. And then some cards on the right to represent their relationship with you and how they treat you. And then we're going to have two cards in the middle. One of them will represent a side of them that they show outwardly, and the other one will represent a side of them that is more inward and hidden. So then at the end of the reading, we're going to have a couple things for just some extra confirmation. The most important thing will be the main messages here if you resonate with these. But for extra confirmation, we are also going to look at astrological placements that could be possible for this person, letters that could be in their name or their initials, as well as numbers that could pertain to their birthday, their life path, or their age. So that's the reading that we're going to do today. And then we also have an extended where we're going to see how you will meet this person, or if you strongly feel that you've already met this person, then we'll take a look at how you will be getting together. We're going to look at a main highlight or multiple highlights of your relationship, why this person will choose you, so what they really love most about you. And then we're also going to get a couple of timing predictions. So one of them is going to be for the short-term future and one of them is going to be for the long-term future. And then it will be up to you if you would like to claim one or the other or both, depending on what makes sense for you and what intuitively feels right. So that is the extended, and there is a special offer for today's extended that it's also going to be available on Patreon. So if you are a Patreon member already, thank you very much, by the way. If you are, you will have access to this extended reading. It's going to be posted on May 9th, 2024. So just look out for the post that was made on this date. If you're not a Patreon member yet and you are considering it, not only would you get access to this full extended reading, but you will also have access to more than 90 full exclusive pick a card readings. You can also get just this individual reading on Vimeo, but the price of the full extended is the same as joining Patreon. So if you were considering joining Patreon, this would be a good time to do that. We have an amazing community over there, and I would be super grateful. But I'm just grateful to everyone who is here watching this right now. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching. And without further ado, let's get into your reading. So we're going to get right into the deck that you guys chose, the Dog Tarot, which is adorable, by the way. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay out the full spread. So we want to channel the energy of your next long-term romantic partner. The first thing that we want to see is any information regarding their physical appearance or their personality. So we have the 10 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. Any information regarding their career, their aspirations, their public image. We have the 8 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. Any information pertaining to their background, their upbringing, their home and family life. We have the 2 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Any information pertaining to the relationship with you and how they treat you. This is the 8 of Pentacles. And the Tower. And then I'm also going to pull a couple of cards from a different deck to see a side of them that they show outwardly and a side of them that is more hidden. Okay, a side of your person that is outwardly shown. We have the King of Pentacles and a side of your person that is more hidden. Oh, the 2 of Swords. So there's a repetition there. Interesting. Okay, we are going to start off with personality and physical traits that are coming through. Actually, the very first message that came to me with this 10 of Cups is that for any of you who have a type in terms of physical appearance, or like there's certain physical attributes that you prefer, your next partner has it all. So they would be your type to a T, and they would probably be one of the most attractive people that you've ever seen. But what is so sweet is that I feel like already you find them very physically attractive, but then as you start to get to know them better and fall for them more, they just become more and more and more beautiful to you. So yeah, I feel like you will definitely have no complaints when it comes to physical appearance. I'm also looking at this dog, how they have these bows and a bunch of collars. This could be someone who tends to wear a lot of accessories or who pays a lot of attention to fashion. And this 2 of Wands is making me realize, like, obviously you're gonna get to see this person both when they're really like dressed up and showy and, you know, in their best, what do you call it, like putting their best face forward. And then you're also gonna get to see them in their more natural and dressed down moments. And there's actually not one that you prefer more. They're just both different, but they're both like really, really beautiful. So you'll kind of like both sides of them. I feel like this person could be kind of experimental with their fashion or alternative with their fashion. Like they like to try new things, and they definitely have a style that is quite unique. They might even have pieces that are like one of a kind or custom made, or they don't get their clothes at the same store as everybody else. So you're seeing garments that are like new and interesting. Maybe they like to support small businesses, or they like to support local designers. It feels like they have a very unique collection, and that they have a personal connection to. And that might go for a lot of their material possessions. Like, this doesn't seem like the type of person who would just buy a bunch of furniture from IKEA and call it a day, which, like, nothing wrong with that. But I feel like they're kind of the person who wants every piece to have a story. They might have things that are passed down from their family, or something that a friend made from them, or they found it at a flea market, or they bought it on their trip across the world. Like, I feel like if you went to this person's house, everything would kind of have a story. I'm also hearing tattoos. This person might have tattoos, and like every tattoo tells a story. They're definitely someone who's very intentional with the things that they place in their life and who they give their time to. And they're also extremely considerate of taking up other people's time. They're very, I want to say they don't assume anything. They're very good at checking with people's boundaries and like making sure this is okay. And they'll probably ask you a lot, like, is this okay with you? Are you comfortable with this? I feel like this person, they could be quite sensitive. And so they're sensitive to other people's emotions. And also they don't want to upset people, or they don't want people to be upset with them. So it feels like they kind of double check a lot of things. They might need things double checked or confirmed or reassured for them. I'm hearing like they have to make sure that they remember things. This is Piscean energy, so there could be a little bit of a dreamy or spacey energy to this person. I definitely think they have an ethereal beauty about them. And also, both of these cards have associations with the planet of Mars. So this person is likely very in touch with their masculine energy, and it doesn't matter what their gender is. And the way that this is coming through is that actually that they're very good at acting on their gut feelings. And they can really tell when something is right for them. Oh, that's beautiful. Like, they can really tell when something is right for them. And when they want something, they just go for it. When something feels right, they just go for it. But at the same time, it's like they're very sure of their needs and their wants and how they feel. And they're also very sure to never assume how somebody else feels. So I love that. It's like, it's boundaries. It's beautiful. They also don't really need other people's approval, or like, if there's something that they want to do, they're not necessarily looking around at what everybody else is doing. And I feel like the way they style themselves is a perfect example of that. So if they're like, I really like this necklace, they're not going to make sure that other people are wearing a similar necklace so that they don't look weird, or like make sure that they're on a trend. They're like, I don't care, I like it. They're very good at expressing their individuality like that. And, you know, I also feel like they can draw that line between, you know, if I'm doing something that's upsetting you, please let me know and I will fix it. However, if you're just talking shit about me or complaining about me, then I don't care. You know, like, if you don't like my collar, if you don't like my bows, I do not care because I like them. I think they have a really good relationship with themselves. I think they're in a very secure place, and I'm hearing they would be looking for a partner for the right reasons. And this would put you at ease because you know that they're genuinely, it's not like they want to be with you just because they're lonely or something. Not that I want to like plant that seed in your mind, but you can just tell they don't have any ulterior motives. They just, if they're hanging around you, they genuinely want to be with you. This could be someone who has done a lot of different hobbies or has done a lot of different jobs, or they might change jobs frequently. They could be the type of person who gets excited about starting new things, whether they finish all of them or not. Well, they probably don't, but like, oh yeah, I'm into this now, I'm into that now, I'm interested in this now. And because it's like, they just like to get involved in new stuff like that. So let's move up to their career. We have the 8 of Cups and we have the 7 of Swords. The 8 of Cups made me think that they may have actually recently left a job or left a certain type of work, and they're going to do something else because they just realized that it wasn't for them. And it does also seem likely that they're probably taking a kind of unconventional path in their career. They may have like a non-linear career path, or they could have a job like in social media or something online. I see that sometimes with the Seven of Swords, but I think the Seven of Swords is more indicating they were on a certain career path and then realized that it wasn't really for them because it wasn't emotionally fulfilling. I'm also hearing like the word scam, as if they went to university for 4 years and like got a degree and got a corporate job, and that's what society said they needed to do to be happy, and then it didn't make them happy, and they're like, oh my gosh, like that was such a scam. Like that's kind of how it's coming through. There's a feeling of them looking for something that is more meaningful. Like they don't just want to be in the rat race. And I do feel like maybe when you meet this person or when you first get involved with them, they might be in a place of a little bit of, I don't want to say confusion, but just they're not sure about what their next steps are. It's like they tried out a path and it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. It didn't give them the sense of fulfillment and happiness that was promised to them, that society promised to them, or whatever they expected. And it seems like maybe they're doing something off the beaten path, or they're trying out multiple different things. And yeah, they could be doing something online with this Seven of Swords. But you know, the same way we spoke about this with their clothes and their possessions and wanting to have a personal connection to it, I feel like they need the same thing with their career. They're not going to be like, oh, I just took this job because it was available and it pays money. They want to have a personal connection to it and feel like they're really making an impact. And I don't know, for some reason I feel like they might be struggling to find that at the time that you meet them, or they're exploring different options. That's kind of the vibe. Moving down here, we have cards for their upbringing, their background, home and family life, and we have the Two of Swords and we have the Ten of Wands. So this person maybe had a bit of a difficult childhood. With this Ten of Wands, it kind of feels like taking on burdens that a child is not supposed to. Like maybe they had to raise their siblings, or they had to like do emotional labor for their parents, or they just went through something that usually you don't have to go through until much later on in your life. Like it's a burden that adults can take on, but when you're a kid, it's a little bit too much. And with the Two of Swords, it also gave me this feeling of, am I this or am I that? So they could have had, this can apply to many different things, but there maybe was like an identity struggle that this person went through, or like trying to figure out who they are or where they belong. And like, I'm just picturing two places of belonging, and they go over here and these people say, you don't belong here, you belong over there. And then they go over here and these people say, you don't belong here, you belong over there. And they're like, well, fuck, like which one am I? It's something with their culture or their identity or just where they belong, that maybe they kind of felt torn. Or maybe it's even like feeling torn between parents, like they have to pick a side or something like that, which would also be a burden that like a child should not have to do. So yeah, it does feel like they've been through a hard past, but that has not hardened them. I feel like they are incredibly soft and loving and vulnerable. Like they've definitely not let this shut them off from the world or from like giving and receiving love. If anything, I think it's made them even more appreciative of the good times and the love that exists in the world, and made them even more loving and even more empathetic towards others. I just noticed that a lot of these dogs have short hair and light colored hair, and it's kind of scruffy. Like, to looking at their physical appearance, and then this is like their early life. So this person maybe has, I don't know if scruffy is a word for human hair. That doesn't really, actually, I'm not sure. But they could have like wavy or wispy hair, or I don't like the word unruly. Like, oh man, my hair was, you know what? My hair was beautiful when I was a kid, okay? It was very curly and big. But you always hear these words like unruly, unmanageable, frizzy, and it has such a, like, a negative connotation to it. So let me not use that. But yeah, they have, I think, like wavy or curly hair, and it could be a lighter color. They could have short hair. And I'm also looking like round eyes, doe eyes, expressive eyes, like very sweet. There's a lot of emotion in their eyes. And they could have brown eyes as well. Okay, and then we move into their relationship to you and how they treat you. And we have the Eight of Pentacles and we have the Tower. When I look at the Tower, I hear I'm not scared of anything. Like, whatever happens, I'm here. Whatever happens, we're gonna be okay. This is an interesting illustration for the Tower because we are inside. You know, the storm is out here and we are safe inside. It's still scary. Like, dogs don't like thunder. It's scary, but we are safe. And I feel like this is how you make each other feel. If this room represents your relationship, your bond, your place of belonging with each other, it's like we always know that the other is a safe place to come back to, no matter what madness is going on in the outside world. We are always safe with each other. I think that, okay, this person is so beautiful. I feel like this person has an old soul, and the meaning that they assign to their life and their experiences and like the lessons that they choose to take from their experiences is just very beautiful, because it's coming through. This is someone who has gone through great loss. That there could have been like one significant loss that they went through in their past, or it could be many losses that they had to experience. And rather than that making them, well, first of all, let me say that any way of dealing with your struggle is valid. But what I see from this person is that after this painful loss that they've been through, they could have just been like, that's it. I'm not going to let myself get attached to people or things or places anymore, because it's just inevitably going to get ripped away from me someday. And so I'm just not even going to like let myself get attached to avoid heartbreak. But I feel like what they've taken from that experience is, because I know that everything is so impermanent and like you never know when something's going to end, or when in your life, or when something's going to change, or when things are going to fall apart, that just makes me want to cherish what I have even more. If I had a really painful loss of a relationship, that just makes me cherish love even more and like not take it for granted. That's kind of their philosophy, I think. And so they will never take you for granted, and also they don't get scared off easily. So you can show up as your, and I'm going to use big finger quotes for this, but like your weirdest self or your most broken self, or like I feel like there's not a lot that could scare this person away, and you're just so precious to them. And there's nothing past, present, or future that they would judge you for, or that would change their mind about you. Like, you can bear it all, you can show it all. You know, this is also Mars energy. There's a lot of Mars going on. I wonder if you have compatible Mars signs or something. What was I gonna say? Just that, oh yeah, that this also has like Scorpio energy to it. So there is a feeling of deep intimacy, and Scorpio is a fixed sign. There's a lot of this feeling of like, I'm not going anywhere. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. This came up for another group as well in the same area, but the Eight of Pentacles is like someone who is willing to put in the work and show up consistently. So this is definitely not someone who's going to give up on you. I also think this is someone who's really invested in personal growth, in spiritual growth. So your journeys of personal and spiritual growth together are going to be beautiful. And I also think there's someone who's committed to finding moments of joy and like finding the light in the midst of all the BS going on in the world. Like they're committed to finding joy, because that's the most important thing. The most important thing is that you don't lose hope, because the second you lose hope and give up, you're letting the darkness win. And so they're not ignoring the darkness, but they're finding the light in the midst of the darkness. I feel like that's something that they're very good at. And I'm also just looking at these dogs playing, and I feel like they do have a very playful energy. This dog is playing too. And they just, like, this is a best friend to live life with, that always lets you know that you're not alone and that it's going to be okay and that you always have each other's back. I feel inner child energy as well, because when I saw the Dalmatians are playing, so that already feels like inner child. And also how like a child might be afraid of a thunderstorm. You could nurture each other's inner child in a way that is very sweet and enjoy like nostalgic things and childlike things together. And your relationship does feel like it's very low pressure. You can just show up as your natural self. But I was also going to say Dalmatian jasper. These guys reminded me of Dalmatian jasper, which is a stone that helps you connect to your inner child. Dalmatian jasper could be significant in some way. But let's look at these cards in the middle now. So this is really interesting, this repetition that the Two of Swords is representing a side of them that they don't really show. And this was coming through with regards to some kind of identity struggle that they have. And that's so interesting, because let me just go back at the very start of the reading. We saw a person who has a very strong sense of self, right? Like, this is who I am, this is what I like, I don't care if you don't like it. I feel like they had to become that for themselves. They became a person that they needed. Because when these people over here said you don't belong here, and those people over there said you don't belong there, they're like, fine, I'll create my own sense of self. I'll create my own way of being. I'll create my own community. And I feel like part of this person's life purpose, or a mission that they'll embrace, is creating community for all of those who felt like they didn't belong, or for all of those who might have like an unconventional way of expressing themselves, or an unconventional life path, or an identity that is like less understood. Something about the work they do or their life purpose will help others radically accept themselves and create their own communities and create their own sense of belonging when they don't fit into the cookie cutter molds that are already out there for them. And yeah, they're going to do something online, it seems like. Like maybe they're an online personality, or the work that they do will be picked up and covered by like online outlets or something. I feel like they don't necessarily talk about that struggle a lot. It is something that drives them, and it is something that inspires them to help others. You know, they went through that struggle of feeling like they don't belong, and they want to help create a world where others don't have to go through that same struggle. But it's almost like they don't talk about it a lot because, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but it's like they don't want it to be about them, or they don't want it to be like a poor me thing, which, I mean, if I'm just talking as KINO, I don't necessarily see it that way. I feel like their story could be very relatable to others, and like maybe people would appreciate it, but for whatever reason, they just don't talk about it, or they don't want to talk about it, and that's their choice, and they just want to show the part of them that is now like embracing themselves and has formed their strong sense of individuality. They do outwardly come across as someone who is very successful, which is interesting because I feel like they might not see it that way, but they come across as someone who is very admirable, like very impressive. I think that this person is intelligent and they're capable at many things. They're good at so many things, but then they might feel insecure that they can't commit to one thing. But meanwhile, everyone around them is like, damn, you're so multi-talented. So it's like they're putting some pressure maybe that like, I should choose a path. I should be more like committed. I should be more regimented. But I don't think their community or their peers are thinking that way. Their community is rather just impressed that they have done so many different things and they have so many different experiences and they have so many talents and insights. And I think a lot of people would probably like to live more like your person and embrace a life of more like variety and diversity and like soul searching and cultivating yourself and not putting pressure on yourself to adhere to one path or to fit in one box and just letting life be an exploration of the self. I think there's a lot of people around your person who think that's cool as hell. And I hope that they don't like give in to the pressure of society to like fit into a box. I don't think they will. I do not think they will. Anyway, so for this last part of the reading, like I said, this is just for extra confirmation. So this main part that we just went through, that is what is the most important to determine if this reading resonates with you, if this sounds like someone you already know or someone you would like to be with. So this next part, it's just for extra confirmation. We're going to talk about astrological placements, letters, numbers that could relate to you or your person. So if some of these apply to you, then that's great. That is extra confirmation. There's no way that all of them can. Like the astrological placements I'm about to say, no one person could have all of them. So even if just like one or a couple of them match, then you can take that as confirmation. But this part is really not as important. So we had a lot of Mars going on here. So this person could be an Aries rising or a Scorpio rising. Or they could have Mars in the first house. They could have Mars in the second house. Libra moon is coming up. Cancer rising. Moon in the fourth house. Virgo rising. Saturn in the fourth house. Taurus rising, Libra rising, Sun in the seventh house, Sun in the eighth house, Sun in Virgo, Saturn in the 10th house, Moon in the 10th house. Did I say Taurus rising already? I don't remember. Taurus rising, Gemini rising. Yeah. So that's what's coming through for astrological placements. Now we are going to roll the dice for some numbers that could be relevant. Molly is singing a beautiful melody right now. Okay, so we have the number 9, 10, and 10 again. So 10 could be a pretty significant number. Like this person could be born in October or born on the 10th, or you could have a 10-year age gap. This could also, like maybe they're born at 10 o'clock or something. Or they are a 10 because we already know that they're exactly your type and that you're super, super attracted to them. So it could be that they're like a 10, they're a perfect 10, they're everything that you've wanted. If we reduce these digits, it could be a number 1 as well. So 1 could be a significant number in their birthday. They could be a life path 1. And then we also have the number 9, which could be in their birthday or life path or age or your age gap. And then I don't have letters, so I'm just going to use the numbers again. Significant letters or initials of this person. I love it when she sings her little tunes. She's just making that up. She's freestyling. Okay, so we have the number 2, we have the number 5, and we have the number 12. So letters that are coming through: the letter B, the letter E, the letter L, the letter G, the letter N, Q, and S. Yes. So that is everything that I'm seeing for my group number 3s. We are going to take it over to the extended now, where we are going to see how you will meet this person. Or if you are like, I already know this person, then we're going to see how you will ultimately end up getting together. We are going to see a main highlight of your relationship, or multiple highlights of your relationship, why this person will choose you, what they'll love the most about you. And then we're going to get a timing prediction for your short-term future and your long-term future. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that linked down below. And remember, the special offer for today's extended reading is that you can get it on Vimeo as usual. You can also get it on Patreon. And if you get it through Patreon, you will also get access to over 90 exclusive pick a card readings, which will be the same price as getting the full extended on Vimeo. So if you have been considering joining Patreon, we would love to have you there. If not, I'm just grateful that you're here. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 4s. So if you guys chose the Turritella Agate and the Enchanted Forest Tarot, this is going to be your reading all about your next long-term romantic partner. We are going to be doing a little spread like this today. So I was kind of inspired by the angular houses of a birth chart. So we're going to have some cards here on the left to represent traits of your person's appearance and personality. Some cards on top to represent their career, their aspirations, and their public image. Cards on the bottom to represent their background, their upbringing, as well as their family and home life, and cards on the right to represent their relationship to you and how they treat you and things like that. And then we're also going to have 2 cards in the middle. One will represent a side of them that they show outwardly, and the other will represent a side that is more internal and hidden. So that's going to be the main part of the reading. This is the most important part in terms of whether the reading resonates with you. But then at the very end, we're also going to do a couple little things for extra confirmation. So we're going to look at any potential astrological placements that this person might have, letters in their name or their initials, as well as any numbers that could relate to them. So things like their birthday number, their life path number, their age, and that kind of thing. So that is going to be the reading here. And then we also have an extended where we're going to see how you will meet this person, or if you feel that you've already met this person, we'll see how you'll end up getting together. We're going to look at a main highlight of your relationship or multiple highlights. We're going to see why they'll choose you, so what it is that they love most about you. And then finally, we're going to get a couple of timing predictions. So One will be a short-term prediction and one will be long-term. My camera is wanting to focus on that candle instead of this, but anyway. Yeah, 2 timing predictions for anything of your choice. You could claim one or the other or both, depending on what you feel is right for you intuitively. And then there is a special offer for today's extended reading, so it's going to be available on Patreon as well. If you are a Patreon member, you will already have access to this extended reading. It will be posted on the same day as this video, so May 9th, 2024. Look out for the post that was made on that day. The extended will also be available on Vimeo as usual. So you could get just the individual reading on Vimeo, but if you do access it through Patreon, you'll also have access to over 90 full exclusive readings, and the full extended reading on Vimeo is the same price as joining Patreon. So if you did want to check out the community on Patreon, if you were considering it, this is a good time to do it. We have an amazing community over there, and I would be super, super grateful. But I'm grateful to anyone who is here watching this right now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get into it. So we're gonna get right into the deck that you guys chose, the Enchanted Forest. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do the whole spread. There is kind of the vibe that your person, they're very fascinating to you, because I'm getting the feeling that you could have been with them for like 6 years, for example, and you're still learning new things about them, new interesting facts about their past and their background story, or discovering new little quirks that they have or a talent they had that you didn't know about. It kind of feels like they are full of surprises. They also might be someone who is misunderstood by a lot of people. The vibe that I'm getting is that their first impression is quite different from who they really are. So, and that actually, for some of you, that might be a hint about who this person is. Like if you have a person of interest and looking back, you're like, oh yeah, the first impression that I got of them is totally different from who they truly are, then that could be a hint that that's your person. If this is someone new who you haven't met yet, I would just say don't judge them by the first encounter. 444 as I'm saying that. For some, it may be on purpose that they don't reveal much about themselves early on. They definitely don't give access to just anybody. This person has a fascinating past. They have a very interesting origin story, if you will. They've had a lot of cool experiences. So for their physical appearance and personality traits, we have Suspension, which is the Hanged Man, and we have the Seeker of Spells, which I believe is the Knight of Wands. For their career, their aspirations, their public image, we have the Eight of Spells, which is the Eight of Wands, and the Four of Boons, which is the Four of Pentacles. For their upbringing, their background, their home and family life, we have the Two of Challenges, which is the Two of Swords, and we have Moonlight, which is the Moon. And for their relationship to you and how they treat you, we have the Hermit. That makes sense. I was just thinking, I feel like it's going to take some time for this person to open up and to really let you in. And then we have the Huntsman, which is the Strength card. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull a couple from another deck. We're gonna see a side of them that they show outwardly and a side of them that is more hidden. A side of your person that they show outwardly. So I was shuffling and then a card fell out from the bottom, which is so interesting. Knight of Wands. Okay, so that's a repetition. And I'm gonna make a mental note that it fell out of the bottom. Part of them that is hidden is the Ten of Swords. Okay. So we are gonna start off over here with the cards representing their personality traits, their physical traits. I am noticing obviously this person is in a red and orange blob, and then this person has reddish hair. So this person could have red hair or orange hair, or they could have brown hair that has a reddish tinge to it. Even the fox in the background, the fox is orange. So this could be their natural hair color, or it could be like they colored their hair or they had red hair at some point. Even with this person wearing red, that could just be their favorite color or a color that is flattering on them. I do get the sense that this is someone who stands out, and I know that that's super vague, like what does that even mean? But there's something about them. They could have a bold fashion sense, or they could have unique features about them. They could have features that are very striking. So just for one example, maybe they have eyes that are like super, super blue, or they have very prominent cheekbones, or they are very tall. Like they have a physical feature that is kind of outstanding and that people might comment on, which I don't know if they appreciate that or not, but it may be something that they've gotten comments about. Even like growing up, people might have said, like for me, it was always, oh my gosh, you have so much hair. And I was like, yeah, I know. I don't know if they appreciate it or if it's just kind of like, haha, yeah. But I feel like this person could be a model actually, because there's something very unique or very striking about their features. Interesting. In terms of their personality, we have this Piscean energy with the Hanged Man. So I do believe that this person has a dreamy nature about them. Okay, this is the gap. When you first meet this person, you would think that they're very quiet and very shy. They probably don't talk that much. If they're in a social setting, I feel like they would kind of be more nonverbal. And it's not because they're rude or it's not because they're uninterested. I think it's because they're observing. They're observing everyone and they're taking it all in. They could also have like a really rich inner world. So they're just like thinking about life or they're daydreaming about something. And they just, yeah, it seems like they're more quiet. And so people might mistakenly think like, oh, this person is really shy. This person doesn't talk. This person is rude. This person doesn't like me. But that's not the case at all. And when you get close to this person, you will realize what a hootin' and hollerin' riot they are. Like, I feel like this person is actually very talkative and funny and creative and loud, like when you get them going. But they're not about to open up that firecracker in front of just anybody. Like, they want to get to know you first. So your first impression of this person might be like, damn, you're so quiet, or actually maybe you resonate with this energy too, but they are actually such a fiery, like looking at this fire, and this looks fiery even though it's not technically a fire card. They have a lot of like passion, humor, creative energy. They're very affectionate, they're expressive, they're vocal, they're chatty, they're very bright and like a firecracker. That's just how I can describe their energy. But their first impression is that they are super quiet and shy. That's the gap. that's the gap with this person. I also feel like this person is extremely humble, and they may kind of downplay their talents or downplay the cool experiences that they've had. They don't really talk about themselves unless somebody asks them. And other than that, they're just going to be listening to everyone else, and they might ask the odd question about someone else. They're just kind of like, oh, me? Well, you want to talk about me? Like, yeah, I want to talk about you. You're super interesting. They're just kind of more like, I don't know if it's humble or more reserved when it comes to talking about themselves or showing off about themselves or something like that. They're more focused on other people and taking in energies from other people. I also wanted to mention that this person might have a dog, because the fox was just making me think of a dog. And they're definitely, yeah, this person is attractive. This person is physically attractive, but I don't think they're like conventionally attractive. It's giving high fashion. It's giving unique. And they have an unusual beauty that is mesmerizing, and you could just stare at their face and take it all in. There may be something about them that is hypnotic to you. It could be their face, their movements, the sound of their voice, something that really entrances you. There's something about this person's vibe. It's like the ones who get it, get it. They may not be understood by everybody, and that's okay, but you vibe with them and you understand them. I feel like this person is very pure. They love nature, they love animals, they assume the best in others. I think this is someone who has a hard time believing that people can purposely be malicious. So they tend to be like, oh, I'm sure they didn't mean it. I'm sure they have good intentions. And sometimes they might be wrong about that. I just feel like their default is to trust others and to assume good in others. And I wish this person would shine their light more, because they could be very inspiring to other people. But alas, that is their choice. So moving up, we get into their career, their aspirations. This person is very hardworking because they choose to be very hardworking. This could be someone who is self-employed, or even if they're employed by someone else, this does give the feeling of someone who has opted into having more responsibilities. They might even work multiple jobs, even though they don't necessarily need that to make ends meet or to make a living. I feel like they're just very curious, and there's a lot that they want to do, and they like keeping busy, and they're good at multitasking as well. And something coming through is that whatever they do for work, they make it look effortless. I think people would be like, how the heck do you do all of that? Like, you have this, and then you have this side hustle, and then you have this passion project, and you have your 9 to 5, and you're also like studying this and that. They have a lot going. I feel like they could be simultaneously going to a job, and then they also work on a creative project, and maybe they're taking a course or they're studying something. It's like they want to do it all, and they can do it all. And I think other people are like, how the heck do you do that? I think that this person is in a good situation financially with this 4 of Pentacles. It is giving financial stability. I feel that this person has abundance, but at the same time, they're quite frugal and they live a modest lifestyle. So this is probably someone who lives below their means, and they might not really treat themselves as much as they could. I feel like this person could definitely work less or treat themselves more. They might be a little bit of a workaholic, or I don't know, because the 4 of Pentacles does have a feeling of like accumulating things, like building up their savings, building up, and I don't know, maybe it's a balance that works for them. I just see that they keep super busy, and it's almost like They might not have a lot of time to treat themselves and to enjoy the fruits of their labor. They could have a lot of people who are counting on them. They could be self-employed and have employees, or they could have coworkers who are like under them, who are counting on them. They could have a lot of clients, or they could even have a following. It feels like there's a lot of people who expect them to show up. Yeah. And then down here we have their childhood, their upbringing, their background, their home and family life. So we have even more Piscean energy with this moon card. This person is definitely a dreamer. They definitely have a very vivid imagination. I think this person is extremely creative, and that's probably something that helps them in their work. Whether they have a creative profession or not, I do think that they're always finding like new and creative ways to do things. I also do think that they love their work, and it's something that allows them to get into the flow. So they might not even feel like they're working that hard. They might just do something that they just get so in the zone and so in the flow that, you know, to an outsider, it might look like, oh my God, take a break. You've been working so much. And to them, they're like, I don't even feel like I'm working. What do you mean? It's been this many hours. Like, it's like they just get lost in it. Yeah, they definitely do something that they're passionate about, which, I mean, you still need rest from that, but I'm happy to see that. And I feel like as a kid, they probably did a lot of make-believe kind of things. So they maybe liked to play games where they could be a different character, or they maybe liked fantasy novels or fantasy movies or TV shows, or they like to pretend they're someone else. Maybe they like to make up stories or write stories, or they like to create things or consume things that allow them to be transported to another world. And they may be good at allowing other people to get transported to another world. There is a kind of otherworldly vibe to this person. And they could come across as spacey, but they're focused on something. They're not just thinking about nothing and floating around. If they look like they're spaced out, it's because they're deep in thought about something, or like analyzing something in their inner world. I feel like this person does have an active mind. And with this Two of Swords, you know, this talks about a choice that you have to make, and it's interesting that this person is looking in the mirror. I feel like this person, they kind of have a black sheep energy to them. They maybe were the odd one out in their family or the odd one out at school. And they had a choice of, do I feel like, do I succumb to the shame of being different and then just try to conform to everybody else? Or do I just embrace that I'm weird and roll with that? And you know what? I think this person went with the latter, and I think that they embraced that they're weird. And to this day, people might, again, like think they're weird or misunderstand them, and I think they just don't care. They're like, okay, you can continue thinking that, and I'm just going to be vibing. And I trust that my vibe is going to bring people who are meant for me, and it brought you. So I love that for you guys. And yeah, I think they have reached a place where they're comfortable with themselves, and they've definitely embraced what makes them unique or what makes them unconventional and made it work for them. And I'm very proud of little them for like really leaning into their, and I'm saying weirdness, I don't mean that in a bad way, but just leaning into the ways in which they deviated from the norm and allowing themselves to have interests that might have been different from everybody else. Maybe there was something that they kind of like geeked out on, or they were a fan person of something, and like they had a really niche interest, and they just went with it and like dreamed about the day when they grow up and they can start to seriously pursue the things that they're passionate about. This is definitely a dreamer. They're a dreamer. Then we have the cards to represent the relationship to you and how they treat you. And so we have the Hermit and we have the Huntsman. This is definitely an introverted person. With the Hermit, it takes a while for them to open up to someone and to really let someone into their inner world. And I'm hearing like it's a special thing. It's a special thing to be let in because not very many people see it. It just keeps coming across of this person being like not understood. And I don't mean that in like, oh, I'm so misunderstood. Like you just don't get it. I just mean like people could just project things onto this person. It feels like there's people who have them pinned down as being a certain way and it's just not true at all. But it's because they don't show the real and innermost parts of them that often. And so it feels like you will be one of the few who would know this person's full story and like the intimate details about their life. And I do think that a really strong trust is going to be built between the two of you, where you know that you could share anything or you could reveal anything and you will still love each other. I think this is someone who, and this is probably mutual, you'll both promote introspection in each other. You will kind of hold a mirror up to each other and encourage each other to find your inner voice and to find your authenticity. And there's really a strong feeling of accepting the other exactly as they are. So when we're doing soul searching together, it's not like there's a specific thing we're trying to find. Whatever we find, we're going to accept it and we're going to embrace it and we're going to love it. This person just wants to help you find you and love you, and vice versa. I think you want the same for them. And you could encourage each other's spiritual journeys as well, because the Hermit does have that feeling of embarking on a spiritual journey. We also have the Huntsman with strength. I think that the two of you are going to develop a really strong friendship. You could be friends before you end up as a couple, or it's just that like you're a couple who are also best friends. But I'm taking this very literally as the strength card, in that you give each other strength. I think both of you, you're like these deers. Gentle, graceful, maybe naive sometimes. Because there is that message about this person just expecting that the world is good and assuming good intentions in everyone, even though that's unfortunately not the case. And I wonder if you have a bit of that too, because I'm just seeing you as these two deer. Like you're just such like gentle and pure souls, and you genuinely cannot understand the minds of people who would want to hurt another or want to betray another or want to like spite another. You're like, I don't get it. Why would you do that? I don't get humans. Y'all are weird. That's kind of the vibe. I feel like maybe both of you have a bit of that energy, and being together gives you more strength to stay your gentle and soft self. You help each other to remain loving and to remain expecting good from the world and to remain soft and sweet. I also think that you're gentle with each other. Like you push each other to be better versions of yourself, but in a very gentle way, in a very compassionate way. And I also think that sometimes you would like call each other out or give each other reality checks, but again, in a very loving and gentle way. You two understand that truth can always be delivered with kindness, and challenging messages can always be delivered with love. I just think both of you are very considerate of each other's emotions, very respectful of each other, and always showing compassion, I think there would be minimal instances, or maybe no instances, where you would be, you know, snapping at the other, or like raising your voice or accusing of bad intentions. I just don't really see any of that. I think you'll continue to assume good intentions from each other and go out of your way to make each other feel safe, because I feel like you know each other's triggers, or you know each other's insecurities, and so that's always something that's going to be on your mind, that I don't want to like hit that nerve, so to speak, in the other person. I'm like, whoa, it's wild that some people would strike another soft spot on purpose. Like, what? Yeah, the world is cruel, you know, but I'm glad that these baby deers could find each other and they can create like a softer world and a softer life together. I also feel with these two cards, there could be a message that the two of you keep your relationship pretty private. So you might not, you know, go telling like all your family and friends about the details of your relationship, or maybe you don't post about it a lot. It feels like it's just between the two of you, and that's very fine. I am having a very specific taste right now of like oatmeal. Like someone is eating oatmeal for breakfast. I don't know, maybe that's your person. But let's move on to these final cards. We have these cards in the middle to represent what your person shows versus what they don't show. So it's very interesting that we had the Knight of Wands being their personality trait, and then that's also what they show. I think, judging from this energy of them being busy and multitasking and being able to do it all, I think they show themselves as this person who just like confidently dives into everything and can take on new tasks and can take on new challenges. And that is accurate. That is very much them. But I feel like what they don't show is when they're tired or when they're stressed. I often see with the Ten of Swords someone who's just like mentally drained, and we often see someone who's lying down and all the swords are in their back, like they're done. They're fini. And I think when things are getting a bit much for them, they just keep pushing forward and like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't know why, because there's different reasons that a person might do that, but it seems like they don't really mention if something's getting too much for them, or if something's stressful, or if they're tired, or if they're feeling burnt out. They just kind of keep pushing through. And one thing that you might be able to do for this person is remind them to check in with themselves and see if they're okay. Because I feel like that's another thing that happens too when you're in the flow. Like, it might not feel in the moment like you're doing work and like you're expending energy, but you are. And so you have to take a break even from work that you're passionate about, even from work where you're in the flow. And they might not realize that, or they might not do that. And so they've been in the flow for 6 hours and they forgot to like drink water or something, or they need to go to sleep. And so they might need a little bit of help with that, like just checking on them. Did you eat? Did you drink? Did you take a break? You know, you don't have to power through, you know, you don't have to finish it all today, right? Like, we can relax. I feel like they just gain a lot of momentum when they get in the flow, and it's like hard to stop, and then they end up getting exhausted or burnt out. But it's like they don't show when they're tired. They just like power through. So maybe they need to know it's okay to be tired. Like, it's okay if you're stressed out. It's okay if you're feeling anxious. It's okay if it's too much. That's very normal. We can take a break. We don't have to do this. We can stay home. I feel like they need those kinds of reminders. Yeah. So this is the main part of the reading. This is what's most important for determining if this reading resonates. For this last part, this is just for extra confirmation, but we're going to look at astrological placements that appear, as well as numbers and letters that could be relevant. So if something comes up that applies to you or to a person you know, or if it sounds like someone you would like to be with, then you can take that as extra confirmation. You definitely will not resonate with all of them because, especially for the astrological placements, it will be impossible for one person to have all of those placements. So yeah, just if something is for you, it's extra confirmation. So starting over here, we have Pisces. This person could have a Pisces rising. They could have Neptune in the first house or Jupiter in the first house. They could have Neptune or Jupiter in the 12th house as well. They could have Jupiter in a fire sign, like Jupiter in Leo, in Aries, or in Sagittarius. Moon in Libra, Moon in the second house, Moon in the 4th house, Cancer rising, Sagittarius rising, Moon in Pisces. I think I already said Pisces rising, Aquarius rising, Sun in Virgo, Sun in the 9th house, Mercury in the 9th house, Mercury in the 11th house, Mercury in Leo, Libra rising, Sun in the 10th house, Sun in the 8th house, Pisces rising again. That's coming through really strongly, like Pisces or Pisces rising. Mercury in the 10th house, Mercury in the 8th house, Mercury in the 9th house. See, like there's no way you could have all of those, but that's what is coming up. So, oh, also, Sun in Capricorn and Mercury in Sag could be a combination. Also Sun in Gemini. Yeah. Okay, so next we are going to look at numbers. So numbers that could be relevant to your person. We have the number 4, 6, and 10. So these could be numbers in their birthday. They could be a life path 4, 6, or 1. You could have a 4, 6, or 10-year age gap. These could also be numbers in their birth time if you are familiar with their birth time. And then I don't have letters, so I'm just going to use the numbers again. But we're going to see what letters or initials could be significant to this person. So we have 5, 8, and 11. So letters that could be significant: the letter E, the letter H, the letter K, the letter M, the letter P, the letter S, and X. Yes. So these are all the messages that we have. We're going to take it over to the extended now, where we see how you will meet this person. Or if you're like, I already know who this is, then we're going to see how you will end up eventually coming together. We will see a highlight of your relationship or multiple highlights, why this person will choose you, what they will love most about you. And we're going to get 2 timing predictions, one for the short-term future and one for the long-term future. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, I'm going to have that linked down below. And remember, you can access it on Vimeo as well as Patreon today. And if you access through Patreon, you will also get access to over 90 exclusive pick a card readings, and it is the same price as getting the full extended on Vimeo. So if you have been considering checking out Patreon, this would be a great time to do that. But thank you to everybody who is watching this. Thank you to everybody who supports me or who considers supporting me. I truly appreciate it. If you're going to leave the reading here, I want to say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your higher self, to your person, to your person's higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!